Hey everybody, so today I'm going to show you two different API methods, one for reading the current Revit application journal file location. And so right now we've got Revit open and there's a journal file that it's recording stuff to, and so we're going to find out what that is. And the other part is we're going to write to that journal file. So both of these are really easy to do in the API. All we need to do is grab the application, and then we can just, with that application, it has a number of, it has a property for the location, and it has a method for actually writing to the journal file. So, and we'll jump into Dynamo, and I've already got the script built, and they're just two different Python nodes, and so feel free to download those from GitHub. But before we get into it, the reason why I created this video was a coworker of mine was looking up journal file stuff. They wanted to find what the current Revit journal file was for their Revit, so that when somebody runs something, maybe a Dynamo script, it would either log it or add a comment to the journal. And there's various reasons why you may want to know your log file. Maybe you are documenting something. Maybe you're pushing that path to a SQL database. Maybe you're writing to the log for a tool like BIMbeats to analyze. There's so many different reasons. But they looked at my video and they reached out to me, and I said, I don't go over any of that in my video, but I should have. That's a good thing, I think, and really useful. So that's why I'm creating this video now, just to cover that part of it, something I didn't cover in the last video. We actually used Python in that video, and what you would do is in the Python in Jupyter Notebooks, you would run that and then browse out to the journal file that you were trying to parse. So if you built this all native to Dynamo, you could run it and it could pull the live journal file that you're recording to. So, and you may think, like, why not just use the latest journal file? Well, you can't rely on that because if you had multiple sessions open, it would it would create another journal file. So you can have multiple Revits or models open, but you can't have multiple sessions open. Well, you can, but I'm saying is when you have multiple models open in the same session, it won't create multiple journals. But if you have multiple sessions, it will have multiple active journals. So you can't rely on it. And as an example, I'll just show you real quick. So I've got journals open. We're looking at, this is 2022, so let me go back. We'll jump to 2023, journals. We'll see right now, it should be writing to this 30, one of these, I don't know, but we'll just take a quick look because I think it's writing to the 30 currently because I had another session open that I closed. But let's go ahead and just come down here. Well, I'm going to click my middle mouse wheel button. So if I click that, pull this back over, we'll see almost immediately that we've got another log that's popped up. So right now, 32 and 30 are running. The new session is going to be writing to 32, and my active session that we're going to use as the example is journal file 30. So, and to verify that we're actually writing to journal file 30, let's go ahead and jump back into here. We'll go to the add-ins tab, and then I've got Revit Lookup. I don't ever go over what Revit Lookup is or how to use it or anything. There's a lot of good content out there related to it, so I definitely recommend Googling it a little bit. But if you don't have this tool and you're interested in the Revit API, I definitely recommend getting it. So we can see that we have different Snoop levels. We can do the Snoop active, where is it? Snoop selection, and that's probably what I use the most. But since we want to actually look at the application, not the active document, but the application, we can click on it there. And then if we scroll down a little bit, we will actually find the recording journal file name property. And then if we just pan this over a little bit or slide it over, we'll see that it is actually writing to journal file 30. All right, so there's that. And yeah, we don't see the method for writing to the actual file, but I'll show you that in the Revit docs, API docs. So, all right, so here's, oops, trying to, so my very creative name, journal stuff. So these are the 2 Python scripts. I was going to write them, but I'm like, that's kind of boring, and this isn't really a tutorial, channel. So, I encourage you to download this and use these if these are things that you want to use, but they're pretty straightforward for the most part. And actually, I haven't showed you guys this yet, but let me pull this over. So these are the 2 methods that we're going to look at in the Python scripts. One's a method, one's a property to the application class. And so you can see here, this is a part of the application class, which is what we are looking at in the Revit Lookup. And what we want to do is use the recording journal file name property, okay, and that's retrieves the name of the journal file, which is what we want. That's a property, pretty easy to use that. So the other one is actually writing to a journal file, and that is a method associated, again, with the application class. And this will write a comment to a Revit journal file. And so essentially all we need to do in Dynamo is retrieve the application. For fun, I'm just going to do this live. I don't know if you can get the current application. I've never tried that with just native Dynamo. I just have a node that's already set up in Python to just retrieve the application. I mean, you can get the current doc, which is something you would do commonly, but anyways. So here's the 2 things, and one of the things we'll have to do is actually retrieve the the application, okay? And to do that, we actually have to use a library called Revit Services, and that is a add-in, or that's a part of the Dynamo add-in. And so let me bring back over File Explorer, and then what was it here? And if we scroll down, we'll see Revit Services .dll. You can use .peek if you've never used that to actually peek into that and see what it's all about. There's probably good documentation on like the website, somewhere, the Dynamo website, but I've never looked into it. But anyways, Revit Services, and then that's where we will get the document manager, and from there we can actually get the application. For the other one, I think we need to get the current model or something. I don't know, but we'll open that up in a second. I can't remember. So all this does is it writes to the and we can rename this to something that's a bit more clear, because it's not the actual active application, it is the path. And I mean, to keep it simple, we could, since it's a one-liner, we could just do out. I'd like to hear what other people's opinions are, but I don't like doing that. I kind of like making things clear like this for other people. They know immediately that this is a path, and that's what's being outputted without having to, test other things. I just like to make sure that, when we're like, anytime I'm using a variable, or even if it's an iterator in a for loop, that it's clear on what it is. So anyways, let's just go ahead and run this. We'll see that it returns are exactly what we need. So that's it. I mean, that's the application property. And so if there's other properties you may be interested in and you want to pull, then you can just, write those here just after the dot, and then give it a try and see if it returns what you need. But yeah, there's that. And then the other one is actually writing to a log file. I don't know if I have an image of it, but recently I posted on LinkedIn like a funny little picture of a journal file that had exactly what you see here. So subscribe to the BIM Coordinator YouTube channel. I didn't write it in the text file. I actually used Dynamo to write to it. So that was kind of fun. But oh, and by the way, I didn't mention this because I deleted it from this. But all of this like text here is just stuff. In case you want to subscribe to my, well, you should already be on my YouTube channel, but if you want to follow me on LinkedIn, you can find that here. And then some other important information, I think you can update this year to whatever the latest year is, but like that Revit service DLL that we were using, this is the path to where you would find that. So anyways, all right, let me close that. We'll go back over here. So we're going to be writing to our journal file 30. All right, so we're going to write this. So I'm going to just copy this so we can search it in the text. It should be the last thing in our journal file. So let me go ahead and run this. Probably have it open. Yep, I do. So let me jump back to journal file. All right, so it's 34, should be the latest, and then we will make sure to open it in Notepad. All right, it should be the last thing, and we may have to run it again, but we'll see. So let me all right, so there it is there. That's why I wanted to search it in case there was other things that got written to it pretty quickly. So let's just verify that's the right date, 23rd. Okay, so that looks good. So yeah, there it is. So pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Nothing special there. And from there, what you could do is parse this. And so you could use a tool like BIMbeats, which tracks logs. And it tracks logs across various tools. But if, not Dynamo, but if Revit is a really, like, that's your number one design tool, and you're a large firm, well, even if you're not a large firm, you're a 100-person firm, it may be really useful to understand, like, your logs and how people are using Revit. And then if you have Dynamo or other tools running, putting information in those logs, and then easily parsing that with, say, BIMbeats, and then you can start to track ROIs. You can start allocating training properly to the right people. You can communicate, from person A to person B, or connect the dots between multiple designers. Say, hey, this designer used this tool on this exact same project, or this project type. Maybe it applies to your project so you can save time and so on. So anyways, I could go on all day of all the applications you could use logs and stuff for, but outside of just troubleshooting. But anyways, you can see it's kind of cool. I thought it was fun, something I never did before. But yeah, so that's it. That's all I've got. Hopefully this was helpful for you. Feel free to download this. It's going to be on my GitHub. Just like everything else, download it. You can use it. But it's pretty straightforward. These are, so you could easily just go out to the Revit API docs and just write from there. But if you didn't want to do that and figure out what libraries you needed, you could download these. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.